you're welcome back to the program. You're still watching the Afia Morning Show, and right now it's time for us to delve into the conversations that we have for you this morning. And we're going to begin with, I think it's, will I call it an endemic, a pandemic, or whatever, when it comes to the cost of housing, the real estate terrain in Enugu State. We speak for Enugu State. I know we've had this conversation a couple of times, but it's always, because with the cost of living, the cost of housing and whatnot, it's always a very passionate conversation. I can use the word, actually say passionate. And to have this conversation, we've just been joined by Thaddeus Asogwa, who is the CEO, Principal Consultant, Otanda Co-City Limited. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Now, I think the first question I want to ask you, is when it comes to renting a new place, before I even go to the cost or whatever, shutting it up or whatever, when it comes to renting a new place, and when it comes to the maintenance and all of that, say for example, you see a house, you like it, you want to rent the place and all of that, whose responsibility is it to fix the little things in the house? So for example, maybe the door is bad, just all these little minute things, and then the landlord will say, oh, we'll fix it, or it will not be fixed. Some people decide to take it out of their rent. Other people, whose responsibility is it? Where is the line drawn when it comes to responsibilities of fixing repairs in the house?
Well, thank you so much for your question. But when it comes to house maintenance is like a goods you're selling. You, the landlord, this is your goods or services you're providing. So once your services is no longer providing its purpose, then it's your responsibility as the landlord or the house owner to fix it and bring it back to its normal use. So when it comes to fixing houses, then it's responsibility of the landlord or the landowner to fix it and put it into its original shape. So that's the answer to your question. So
even if when it's in the, for example, I would say I agree with you, but
yes,
in the beginning phase, like obviously put it in the best place possible before it is rented. So
yes,
while it is now like being rented and being used and something
yes,
spoils in the house, that is not the what's it called, the tenant's responsibility. Say for example, all of a sudden the pipe starts leaking and it has nothing to do with the tenant. Whose responsibility is it during that period when the house is already being rented?
Well, it's the landlord's responsibility.
Still, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Yes. All right. I have some.
Is there a reason why you
have some
ask those questions?
I have some settles to score with my landlord.
Personal question.
But I said let me ask first so that by the time I call him today, I'm going to be like, hey, this is what they said.
Absolutely. Contact challenge.
The challenges we have about a real estate system in Enugu State is because there is no regulation. So there should be regulation. Maybe government. I once wrote a proposal to His Excellency, the State Governor of Enugu State. I told him to create a state-owned company that can regulate real estate industries in Enugu. Like the company will be responsible to license people that want to practice real estate in Enugu State, and to incorporate some commercial houses in Enugu, so that there will be regulation and order.
Abroad, you can't just be a realtor.
Exactly.
You have to go through courses before and be certified to be a realtor. But here in Nigeria, anybody can actually.
Anybody can be a realtor.
Right, so
that's the challenges we are facing here in Enugu State. But these issues of housing is not peculiar to us here in Enugu State. I think it's a global issue, or let me bring it down to Nigeria and Africa. So the system is not well managed or regulated. That's why you see landlord, we just woke up one day and tell tenant, I've increased my rent to, or you go and maintain so house, or maybe the roof is leaky and you are telling the tenant to maintain it. It's wrong. It's all because of lack of regulation in the industry.
Okay. I want to ask this question. Everybody is shouting and crying. Let me just use Enugu as a case study.
Okay.
Please, let me use Enugu as a case study. I want to ask, what drives cost of housing in this town? What is the reason why? Why is, you pay a whole lot to move into an apartment, right? And how do we start averting or somewhat regulate this excess payment of lawyer, caution, so many fees to pay because you want to move into a house. And
Let me list some of it for you.
sometimes
Some of it that I've seen. So you pay, there's the rent.
Yeah.
There's rent, you pay lawyer. You do not meet a lawyer. I'm sure the landlord does not know any lawyer. So, but you pay lawyer
Agency fee.
you pay agency fee,
Caution
you pay
fee.
management fee, you pay caution fee, you pay landlord drink, you pay caretaker drink. I've seen when I saw landlord drink, I'm like, I should give landlord drink to pay rent, to move into it. Is this not a business? It's just like, I want to buy fuel and then I give the attendant drink. Oh, thank you for selling fuel to me. It's literally your business. So all these prices that we see, landlord fee, caretaker fee, some of them are even paying acceptance fee. I don't understand. Acceptance fee to come. Is it university? So I want to understand why. I understand that you said that there is no what's it called? There's no regulation and all of that. And but what is all?
How do we start even having that conversation to enact that, right? Because it's too much.
Well, if you want to talk about housing and you want to settle or solve the issues of housing, first of all, we should focus on affordable housing. Yes.
Even the affordable houses or housing, you still have to pay a whole lot before you move in.
Yes, I'm coming. Once we focus on the affordable housing and its target audience, it will help us to draw a conclusion to housing issues. For example, affordable housing are houses meant for low and middle income earners. That is people earning from 80 to 150,000 naira monthly. And mind you that this houses should not take more than 30% of their income.
Yeah.
Yes. So, but the challenges we have here, and the big question here is, even the big men, ranked according to the UN, cannot afford even that affordable housing now. So, if they are paying 150,000 naira, the 30% of it, can it be enough to rent a house? No, because there are scarcities of housing. Houses here in Enugu and other places are scarce. So because of there is high demand in housing and there is no low supply, that's why some agents and landlords are taking undue advantage of tenants. So if you want to regulate it and bring it back to normalcy, the government has to come in place. Did you understand? So they have to come by providing at least civil servants and good housing. And once they provide it, there will be, as in the supply will be coming and the demand will be reducing as well. So once they have power over the housing, then it can be controlled.
But we're not seeing, let me just say, here is a case study, Enugu state government, talking about having, start developing housing, probably estates for civil servants and all that stuff, and they know how they pay off, probably, space in 10 years paying time or 5 years or thereabout. Well, we're not having that. We've not seen, not heard of that already. So we're still in the issue, right? Because people are, houses are scarce.
Exactly.
And because of that, they're taking advantage of, everybody's desperate, right? You probably want to move into a house of 400,000 that you're meant to be paying every year. But before you move into that house, you're paying up to 900,000, 800,000, even sometimes 1 million.
That's common, yeah.
And I think for me, it's sometimes the rent in Enugu, it's not so crazy.
Well, the rent is not crazy, but
the extra prices on it is what makes the houses. So I don't even think it's just a lack of demand or I think it's those exorbitant prices.
Just taking advantage of people.
Because you could see, I when I was house hunting earlier this year, late last year, the rent 300,000, 350,000, 250,000. You're like, okay, this is fine, this is fair. With what you're earning, you can possibly pay this and all of that. But I've seen one where the rent was 300,000 and the initial payment this person was going to make was 700. So that is above the rent, literally above. A lot of times you see a rent of 250,000. You see, okay, the rent 250,000. What you're paying initially is 450, 500.
Yes.
Double the rent. And now you've not spoken about the bed. Oh, have you gone to price bed in the market?
I know it's
mattress in the market. Have you gone to price bed bed floor or bed foam or whatever you call it? Like household chair, table, all those things. Now people just pay rent and lie down first. And then that okay, you have literally have a roof over your head.
Truthfully, if you employ the services of any of these, maybe the agents or the lawyer,
Yes.
yes, you have to pay. But sometimes you're even having a conversation with the landlord. Then landlord is telling you to pay
lawyer,
Caution
to pay
fee.
agents,
Agency
and his
fee.
landlord is spoke to.
And you're speaking with the landlord, the owner
Yes.
of the property, but he's trying to find a way
Is
to
he his
take
own agent
advantage
and
of
lawyer?
that.
No,
He's self-represented.
Is there a way when you actually come in contact with such people, is it right for you? Is there to go and report the exploitation?
Yes, I think professionally, what I can advise is this. Before you employ the services of an agent or a lawyer, you need to bid the price with them first and agree on a particular amount. Do you understand? Normally,
So you have to have a conversation.
Yes, with
on
the
a particular.
agent.
It's not fixed, but they always fix it like, oh, my agency is 150,000. There's nothing you can change. You can't remove or add
it's
anything.
not fixed, but
That's what I'm saying. You're saying you have to have a conversation
with
of
your
what
agent.
I can
Pay.
offer or pay you.
Exactly.
But they fix it.
No, it can be negotiated.
Hmm.
You know, the way they do it is this. Once they find out you're desperate, they can do whatever they want to do. But in a situation, say, Mr. Man, I want to stay here at GRA, and what I can pay you is 100K or 50K. If it's okay for the guy, he can bring you in and render his services to you.
While I agree with you, I've also seen that the price for agent fees is dependent on the kind of house. So if you want to stay in
And it's a
self-con,
percentage you're meant to pay.
if you want to stay in
Yes.
self-con, Mr. Thaddeus, the agent fee might be like 100,000, 70,000. If you want to stay in two-bedroom flat, they're talking 200,000. So sometimes it's not just like, okay, you are my agent, this is what I'll pay you. It's dependent on the kind of house you're looking for.
Yes, I agree with you, but that's the lack of regulation we are talking about. Because these agent people, sometimes they want to make more profit more than the landowner. I remember there was a time, some months ago, a house agent approached me that he wanted to put tenants in my house. I told me I don't want tenants. The man has started printing forms, sharing to people. He wants to collect so much money from them.
We'll explore that story a lot more. We have a commercial break right now.
Okay.
Let's go on a quick break. Permeator, we'll continue with our conversation. You're welcome back to the show. You're still watching the Afia Morning Show, and we are having a conversation on the cost of housing and exploring the Enugu real estate terrain. And Thaddeus Asogwa is still in the studio with us, and he's the CEO, Principal Consultant, Otanda Co City Limited. And you know, before the break, we're having a conversation. We were talking about an agent. You said you don't want tenants, and he has already started printing flyers and whatnot.
Yes. So they use that opportunity. Maybe they will, first of all, try to create a relationship with him and the landlord. And once the landlord gives him the hand, he will exploit people. And because of me personally, I have the experience, so I don't want that to happen with any of my properties.
Wow.
So
you're saying that a lot of these agents, what they do is they go and explore a relationship with the landlord.
Yes.
So when they do, they can now start to do, like, because I know sometimes when you speak to these landlords, they're like, oh, okay, they're really cool with it. They don't have any problem. It's usually the agents that are usually out there and are trying to do more. Oh, this landlord no go agree if you don't do this one. You no go agree. Landlord is this, landlord is that. So are you saying that people should bypass some of these agents?
yes, if it's possible, you meet the landlord himself. Because you can imagine a landlord that used, like, let me say, 100 and something million naira to build his house. So he won't be interested in 50,000, 150,000 naira. He doesn't care about it.
So some of these landlords are not even accessible. That's even a thing.
You find a way and access them. So it's not easy, but if you can do that, you save yourself cost.
I agree with you. When my mom was house hunting earlier this year, so we had tried agents, and you know the amazing thing with Lagos is for Lagos, once you are talking to an agent, once you just say hi to an agent, like
you have to pay for the high.
Like you have to pay for that high, like
But
compared
the same
to
thing in Enugu now. Once they move you around, anywhere you're going to, you're paying them.
That's the thing. Like in Enugu, you have to like give them, depending, some of them 1,000, 2,000. But in Lagos, once you just say hi to them, you're paying 5,000 naira down. Like it's not negotiable once you say hi. And so the thing is, a lot of them have the same houses. They have the same houses. It's the same places they are showing you. It's not like as if there's anything different. So sometimes you might go to an agent that you met today, I meet another one, take it to the same place. Do you understand? So basically the thing, but she found a house and she went straight to the landlord. straight to the landlord, and when you go straight to the landlord, a lot of these prices, you are able to cut down on them.
Yeah.
But in the cases where these landlords are not accessible, you have to now be at the mercy of these agents. So now when we speak about regulation, so which ministry is it going to fall in? Is it Commissioner for Land? Is it Ministry of Housing? Is it like which ministry does it follow that is supposed to take responsibility for regulating these prices?
Well, the governor himself can even create a fresh state government-owned company that can manage and regulate anything real estate. If he likes, he can put it under Housing Development Corporation. He can put it under State Ministry of Housing. So all of them, it can give them the power and authority they need to regulate and manage anything real estate in Enugu State.
I also want to ask, because there is now another place that is, I want us to explore and talk about, and I'm sure your company should be falling into the people that used to do those kind of things. Okay, but I'm joking.
Let me hear you first.
So now, when it comes to buying land, people are saying, why are people selling 350 million naira for a plot of land that the Lord gave us for free? And other people say land and water that they gave us free, people are selling it so and so plot. So now I want to understand the value on land. So land is, you buy a plot of land depending on whatever you want to use it for. So they will say it's a developing city, it's a developing area. Buy 6 million naira a plot, buy 3.5 million naira a plot. The place is developing. This place will be near this place will be near that place. And the next thing they tell you, after a couple of years, it will appreciate this, that. I want to understand, how is the value for land? How is it usually calculated? How do you say, okay, this particular land is worth 2 million naira a plot. This one is worth 1.8 million naira a plot, and all of that. How is the value of land? How is it usually calculated?
Well, let me start from where you started. You said that the value based on what God gave us free.
Yes, no.
God gave you your voice free, and you are collecting salary here. Is it not true?
Well, I'm using my talent. I honed it.
So that's the talent you are using too. But the truth remains that you, a layman, if you want to buy land somewhere, if you want to purchase land somewhere, you first of all check the amenities close by, or the facilities close by.
That's why they used to say 5 kilometers to the airport, or 2 kilometers to
Spa.
That's why site inspection is very important. And you go with a professional. Because if you tell me, like you have a plot of land you're selling somewhere at GRA for 5 million naira, 10 million naira, me, I will not come. I will not advise somebody close to me come. Because I know GRA is in the heart of Enugu. In our profession, there's something we call CBD, Central Business District. That's where things are happening.
So you can't go for that amount?
Yes, it can go for that amount. But why people lose their money is out of greed. You want to get a plot here in Enugu or Transekul for a lower amount. It's not possible. But once you have going with a professional, let me say a town planner or a surveyor, even if he's taking you somewhere that is not developed, but due to the place has a good plan, a good layout plan, he already knows that this place there's going to be a school in the future. This place is going to be a shopping mall in the future. And this is access road. And the distributor road is okay, is maximum. So even if the place is not developing now, the place should have higher value, bigger value than what is somewhere else in just ordinary land. So that's why it's very good to go with a professional, not just an agent.
Okay, so going with a professional, not just an agent, is always like very, very important. And let's talk about like developing estates. We hear of this estate is coming up. You hear of different estate. This estate is coming up. This estate is coming up. People should start buying lands and all of that. So now, when you tell people to come and buy land in an estate, it's like, the way I see it, I feel like you're selling a dream to them. Like, okay, come and buy land here. This estate, we'll turn it to London. We'll turn it to Dubai. In cases where a lot of times, I've heard of stories where the developers do not deliver on their promise. Oh, we'll turn this estate to London in 2 years. So you come and you buy the land. 2 years has passed, 3 years has passed. It's not doing what it's supposed to do. First of all, what can we say is the problem with such estates? Is it that, the cost or the money that they get is not enough to turn it to London like they said, or it's just a case of everybody trying to make money, so they sell something to you, so if you go and buy?
Okay, thank you so much. Like I said earlier, you need to go to a professional. There's something we call planning scheme. Any estate or layout has this planning scheme. And for estate developers, real estate developers, the planning scheme will contain what is going to be in that estate, and the time it will be developed or it will be developed on land. So you that want to buy land from a real estate developer, first of all, I think you need to ask them for that planning scheme so that you see what is going to be in that estate and the time it will take to develop it. So, and if that time passes and the development is not there, you have the right to sue them.
The litigation that will take
Oh,
place.
you have to write to sue.
Yes. Now,
to
if if I'm buying something and you tell me that in 2 years' time this road will be tarred, or there will be electricity or solar here, and in that 2 years' time nothing like that is taking place, it's fraud.
Yeah.
So you have the right to sue me.
So now let's talk about the judiciary when it comes to land cases, because we've seen a lot of it happen. You know, this is what they promised, this person did not deliver on the land, or this is the people that have access to this land, or these are the rightful owners of this land, and then it is being sold to an independent contractor, which is a very, very popular case in the Southeast. It's being sold to an independent contractor. They come ahead, they demolish the place, and then the owners of the land are like angry. You know, when it comes to cases of land disputes, housing disputes, you know, real estate disputes in courts, what is the, how will I say, do we see a bit of success in it, or it's always the case of whoever has the highest amount, you know, wins the case?
Well, you know, Nigeria is a good country and Enugu State is a good country. So I believe here in Enugu State and Nigeria, with my experiences, once this land rightfully belongs to you, after the whole thing, it will come back to you. We have good judicial system and good government in Enugu State. So you understand? Why are you laughing at me?
I want to know if you're being sarcastic.
I'm not trying to look at it. Are you being sarcastic? Are you being truthful?
You know, there's something we call political influence in planning. I'm a consultant and planner. There's a course we did, politics in planning. So at a point, you know, even in the Bible, they wrote it that after God is the government and the politicians. So sometimes things go somehow, but I believe in law and equity. Finally, it will come back to the original owner.
Sorry.
By God's grace.
So if it doesn't come back?
You appeal.
You keep appealing.
You keep appealing. One day.
Keep living in the litigation for years.
No, it's not living. One day, God will remember you. And the government will remember you to come back to you.
Goodness. Oh, my goodness.
Now I see where you're going to.
Now I see where you're going to.
Now I see where you're going to.
Say?
Okay, now, you say you're a principal consultant at Tandako City Limited.
Yeah.
What has been your experience? How many years have you been in this industry, in the real estate industry?
Okay, I am a town planner. I started from being a town planner since 2014.
Oh, okay, that's 10 years.
So, yes, I've worked for state government, Ministry of Lands, Ministry of Housing. So now I am a consultant on my own, and it's going well by God's grace.
Okay, so
Awesome.
what are some of the challenges that you faced in your line of work?
Well, challenges, there will be no success without challenges.
Sure.
So challenges I face is sometimes you have a bigger dream, but the finance to achieve the dream is not here. And I'm not somebody that believes in miracle.
He just said that God will hear you. Now you say you don't believe in miracles.
You believe in hard work.
I believe in hard work. And
Smart work.
And once you are dedicated and smart,
Yeah.
you will get what you want.
Okay, from your experience, right? Just like an advice for people out there that don't know, apparently, caught up in this thing we're talking about right here, trying to, assess a house, a roof over his or her head right now. So how do you, in this economy, and also the excess, charges that comes with looking for a house and trying to move into a new apartment, how do you work with a tight budget? What advice do you have for anybody? One of them you said is find a way and locate the landlord. I know that's a very great advice, by the way. So what ways can you try and assess a house with a tight budget, even regards to whatnot, agency and lawyers trying to sometimes exploit you?
In this scenario, what you need to do is to move ahead of time. If your rent will expire, let me say, in 6 months coming, you need to start from now. You need to start scouting for houses now, because there are actually some good landlords There are some people that want somebody, a nice person that will stay in their compound.
They always
They
want nice people.
To stay in their compound, they are not even interested in
That's what I'm saying. They always want nice people.
Yes,
nice
yes.
people
No,
that work. So
no,
don't
it's
bring
not
them.
that kind of nice people. But there are people,
Yeah.
maybe they have a very good house, but maybe they are traveling abroad or they are locating to somewhere.
They want
They
somebody in that compound, yeah.
yes, to keep the compound clean and all that. So those kind of people, they don't charge much. Yeah. So
Yeah,
you need to
top
start
secrets.
scouting on time. Yes.
In case that thing that call you want to make doesn't work, start scouting for people who leave the country, and those people are nice people and they don't take much.
Yeah.
They take down the
Update has dropped. Update has dropped. All right. Thank you very, very much, sir,
yeah.
for taking our time to speak to us on this morning.
All
This is Thaddeus Asogwa, who is the CEO, Principal Consultant, Otanda Co City Limited, and we had a conversation on the cost of housing, exploring the Enugu real estate terrain. Thank you once again for joining
All right,
us.
you're welcome.
much, yeah.
We'll go on a very quick break. When we return, we're going to go straight into our social media trends. Do stay with us.